Yeah, hi Armin.
Hello, Peter. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you too.
Good.
How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
What's new
Now
in
it shows.
Malta?
Now it shows that you're recording. What is in Malta? It's catastrophic.
Your villa is closed.
Yes, I wanted to move anyway on the weekend, but then on Wednesday, I think, yes, on Wednesday, one of the students got sick and got to the hospital, and of course he was tested positive for COVID. And then on Thursday, the whole team from the hospital came and swab tested every single one. And then they found, I don't know, 10, 12 cases.
Oh.
And then the residents told me already, listen, we need to lock down until Saturday for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So on Sunday, either I stay 3 days or I leave and come back after 3 days. I said, okay, then I come back on Sunday and can do my move on Sunday. And then on Thursday, Friday, then after the testing and everything, they realized they had so many cases that they locked down everything, they blocked everything, they closed everything until tomorrow. They will do another round of tests there. And if nobody is positive, then they will open up on the 12th or 13th of May. And if there is one again tested positive, then it might take, I don't know how long. And I have just right now no idea how to get to my stuff. They closed even the main gate. So they closed even the archery range, which is 100 meters away from the building. It's hilarious what's going on there.
So you have only one shirt, this black one?
Yeah, I only have black shirts, so it makes life easy. I only took a bag full because I was only driving with my bike. When I move, of course, I need a car, so I only took what I could take grabbed what I could take on the bike, my phone and a few shirts and a few underwear and stuff, but not a lot. So,
like in a divorce, no?
Exactly. Yeah, you have to move quickly. You take simply what you have on your body and you run away.
From the window.
Yeah, good. I live on the first, let's say, basement and base floors. It's fine.
And
yeah.
And the shops are closed, so you can't get any stuff?
Yeah, why shall I buy a lot of stuff? I have everything at home. I only need, they said until on Sunday I can pick it up, but of course now, no chance. It's not Tuesday and I'm still without anything. Of course I can buy something if I need something, but I have a few t-shirts, a few underwear, and it's fine. So that's not the problem. My problem is I don't have my computer here. I don't have my camera equipment, my gears, my bows, my arrows. I can't do anything. So right now I can't do any video. So even if I would do a video of these leather thumb protectors I just got, I can't do it because first of all, you can't go to the archery range because you're not allowed to go in the whole premises. And second, all my equipment is locked in my old flat.
And you had to look for a girl which gives you room to stay, or how you?
Yes, of course. Yes. Okay. But there are kind girls in Malta. They said, "Oh, listen, come to me, live with me."
Oh, really?
No, we wanted to move together anyway in this weekend, so it's fine.
If you find a rich old lady and you become her toy boy, maybe you can stay in a nice big place.
It's not the topic of it. I tried this once. I had a rich lady. She wasn't even very old, but very
rich
and beautiful.
Oh,
and beautiful. Oh. And she directly was looking at me. Yes, this 911 Porsche would fit you. And I said, look, this Porsche would fit me, but not I would fit this car. So, you don't get it wrong. I don't need all this. And she wanted me as her, kind of. And I realized this is not, I'm not born for this.
But sometimes you have to get over your view.
Yeah. Or your. I leave this up to you. You have your opinion and you make this. Not for me.
I guess I would fit the Porsche.
In this time I had a Ford Focus diesel. I said, this car brings me everywhere. I can bring a lot of stuff in it, and it only consumes 6-7 liters per 100 kilometers diesel, and not like 20 liters like your Porsche. So thank you.
but if she pays the gasoline, so where's the problem?
Yeah, but everything belongs to her. She owns you.
Oh,
And one day she wakes
yes.
up and she said, listen, go
That's
away,
true.
and then you have nothing. So
Yeah.
even the finca in the Toscana, she says, oh, we could buy an old house in the Toscana, write it on my name, then we can talk, but as long as everything is yours and I'm only the wealthy, no.
I see.
But we drift a bit off. How is it in Austria with COVID, and how is the situation?
They want to open at the 19th, I think, of May, and yes, you can get into restaurants and bars with a testing, but they don't know who will control these testings, because the restaurant owners, and they say no, we don't control this. So I'm sure it is just said they will control it, and it will all go the Austrian way. Nobody will talk about, and okay. No, it's still crazy.
Yeah, here they raised now the fines, because people are of course a little tired now of this, and they wait until we open here again with the cases. Nothing really serious is happening, so people are really, they don't want to wear the face mask anymore, but now they raise the fines that you don't go partying now or whatever, because weather is nice now, people are outside, so they want to avoid that. It's crazy. And we will open, I think next week or in 10 days something, we open the restaurants too, but only until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then only for takeaway. So
nobody after work can go to the restaurant.
Exactly. You only can take it home. Then you can't go out in the evening for some nice dinner or something. It's hilarious.
Crazy. And interesting enough, the incident cases went down so without the cause, because they went down, and nobody knows why.
Made up numbers. Yeah, I received yesterday an invitation, said the guy, a Facebook friend, said, come to Texas. We opened everything up and we don't have any problems. We don't have any COVID problems, not more people in the hospital, no cases more than normal with the flu, nothing out of the ordinary. Everything, life is normal. Like in Florida.
I got an idea, because we talked about divorce. Bill Gates gets divorced, so there would be a very rich woman around for you. You read it?
No, thank you. The Melinda is complete. I think they both had the same mind control program. There was one long time ago, NK Ultra, but most probably had already a newer one. Otherwise, they wouldn't be as they are. My opinion. I'm not even sure if Bill Gates is still Bill Gates, or if it's a clone made up or something.
Or a reptiloid.
Yeah, this is of course they are. You don't believe that much, but of course.
But I'm sure Bill Gates don't do this stuff because of the money. He really likes to. He lives in that idea he can save the world. I'm sure it's not about money.
No, of course it's not. It's simply he can do it. He wants to darken the sun now, and he simply wants to do it because he can. Because he has so much money, and he's so bored of his life. Because when you can buy everything, you get a little bored. And then, of course, what can we do? When I drive through the streets, all these homeless people, they annoy me. So what can we do to get rid of them? And when you hear now in Germany, who is stands in the first line for vaccinations are the weak, the Down syndrome, the sick people. It's information. It's nothing theory. It's really. A guy yesterday from Germany told me, do you know? I said, most probably the old people. Said, no, not only the old, but really all the people that don't want to be here anymore, they get now the vaccine. And you think about why that? If vaccine is so good, why not first the politicians and the police?
No. They want to protect the weak ones, of course. They like to save the weak ones. The handicapped
such nice human beings,
the vulnerables. You're really a conspiracy.
Yeah, I know. But I just put up my aluminum hat because It's reflecting too much here, so you would not see.
Maybe you can get a new house with an aluminum roof. So all
Yeah,
the
no, I
houses.
bought aluminum foil now, and I will put it on the roof. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Not that the aliens will come and abduct me, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get back to archery, what is new in the comments? Are there any points we have to discuss, or is everything?
No, some are simply they posted and links that even the slide always goes on and off. That's interesting.
I don't see it.
That even in Viking findings they found female warriors. So it was a bit about this that you say that no female was whatever as a soldier or warrior. That some proof
no. They found female remainings with weapons aside. So that means nothing. That also could mean, yeah.
Maybe she carried the weapons for the warrior.
or maybe her husband was a very famous warrior, but they never found his body, or you don't know.
I don't know. I didn't read this, but it was simply so that some people said, and of course they were female warriors, and the other ones were really happy that we had Petra here, so she had really a good impact. A lot of people said, "Oh, that's so nice, bring her back. She was so nice, and she knows what she's talking about. Really nice."
Nice talking.
So there was not. I expected maybe a little more critics from from the other side, which she was telling that they do not such a good job, but there was nothing. So everybody was quite happy with her.
Yeah, I was happy too. She's a very interesting and lovely woman. Nice to talk to her.
Yeah, in 3-4 weeks we get her back in the show.
Yeah, and we also got some other special guests.
I have Jess Smith. She is horse acrobatics.
I
don't know how you call it. She does shows on horse, and whatever. She does really crazy stuff on a horse, and she shoots bow and arrow from horse. She's quite nice.
And
she's from Australia, and she's moving now, so we need to give her a few days, and when she's settled, then we do the talk with her. It's no problem.
Yeah, and
the big one.
Yes, big one. We get Byron Ferguson. When we will record it on 11th, I think.
When he has time, exactly on 11th.
I forwarded the mail to yes. And also we will get Jorge Perales from Peru.
That's very good. He can tell us a bit about the native Peruvians.
Yes, Amazonian archery, about the Amazons,
Yeah, now back to the okay, fine.
Yes.
Maybe he can tell us something that female, but we see what he will say.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy. I got him to know when I was in South Korea, and he's a criminal policeman, not a crime.
Police officer for crime.
Yeah. And he also writes studies and books about the Amazonian tribes. One special tribe. He's, it's a closed area where only a few people can get in, and he's one of them, and so he can study and talk to the archery of this tribe and so on. Very nice guy. And yes, and we will have also one friend from Japan, so we can talk about Kyudo and samurai techniques and so on.
Nice, very good.
Yep.
So your time in South Korea, huh? You want to talk about Korea a little bit when you were there? What was going on and stuff?
Yeah.
How was it?
Yes, it was in 2017, and I got an email. They invited me to this WTAO founding meeting. They founded this 1 or 2 years earlier, but it wasn't official. So this was the founding meeting. And if I remember well, there were about 47 nations who met, and they did a wonderful job. It was a lovely place with a lake, but in the city of Yecheon. And this is the place where most of the Olympic archers from South Korea come, all the champions, and most of the also the traditional bow makers are living there in this area. And you know, they had nice for every nation they had flag of every nation who is there, and there was a nice meeting at the start with music and dancers, and you know, the mayor and so on. It really official stuff. And yes, and I took Michaela Wolf with me because they invited me as a traditional Austrian archer. But you know, in Austria there isn't any archery tradition, so you don't have an Austrian outfit. You could put on some medieval or so, which I don't like to wear. And so I had the idea I'd take this beautiful woman with me, and she had to wear typical Austrian, you know, dirndl. Those,
Yeah,
yes,
of course,
yes.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
It was 1 week, and for every day she had a different dirndl.
Wow.
She
Okay.
was sponsored by a German traditional outfitter.
Dirndl maker.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Cool.
And because she's so beautiful with her dirndl and dresses, all the people wanted to photograph her, and she was with me, so they also photographed me a lot.
You were a sneaky bastard. Yeah.
But there was also a dark side of this, because there were beautiful women. They were from Mongolia, from everywhere around the world, and we all were slept in one place. This was run by Catholic nuns, a big, like a hotel, but not a hotel. It was for priests, for reverends to make holidays there. And so the nuns with the nun outfit, they ran this, and there were 4 buses full with archers from every nation, everywhere. And in the evening, we went back from Yecheon to this place where we slept. And in the evening, I go out smoking. There were wonderful women, and they all said, "Oh, Peter, you like to flirt with me? You have your beautiful girlfriend with you." And I said, "No, it's not my girlfriend. She's just," no, that's not true. That's not true. So
She's paid to be here.
I had no chance. I had no chance. Yes, and every day there was a fixed schedule, a program. So you went around, so the people see you. There were lots of visitors from all over the world, and Korea, and so on. And every day, I think about 10 or 11, there was an exhibition. So the Indonesian archers, they had a kind of dance and shoot, and every day something different was. Then all together shot, and we were parted in groups. So my group were 5 samurais from Japan, and 2 nice guys from Bhutan.
Okay.
And we were one group, and every group had one Korean guide, because it was not so easy for them, because they were different religions and everything. So some don't eat pork, and some don't eat that. So when we went to lunch, we went to different restaurants and so on. And it is, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the big NGOs of UNO and UNESCO and so on, but it was organized by the UNESCO, and to protect and to support the traditions around the world in archery.
Yep.
But that was really a good thing, because we talked about in the past, you got to know people from Turkey, from Indonesia, from France, from everywhere, from Mongolia, from Bhutan, you know, from Japan, and so on. You never would have met these people, and so maybe they saw some pictures of me and said, "Oh, that's an arrogant guy." But when they met me, we were friends, and I said,
Yeah.
oh, this you know, these Indonesians, they're strictly Muslim, but when I met them, oh, they're wonderful people, and so it really connected the people, and that was a very good thing.
Nice.
And then one day there was a parade through the city of Yecheon. Everybody walks through the city, the mayor in front, and his beautiful wife with Korean outfit and dresses, and so really nice, really nice.
And you had a speech there too, right?
Yes, and on one evening there was every nation could do a speech, and they asked, and they said it before, so you could prepare for this.
Okay.
Yeah. And very interesting stuff. You know, also Murat Özveri was there. He talked about Turkish archery. The Japanese talked about their Kyudo. A guy from Germany was there. He talked about medieval archery and so on.
Nice.
Really nice. They didn't held this meeting, I think, for 2 years, but maybe they will hold it again. And yeah, really nice and fun to talk to all these people. And to look at their bows and so on, and they looked at yours. And when we parted, when we traveled home, we changed arrows. Give me one of your arrows, and they gave me one of theirs, and so.
Nice.
Yeah. And we also visited a clubhouse from the traditional Korean archery club. You know, it's like a villa, and this beautiful shooting lane, you know, 145 meters in a slope, and a big 2 by 2 meters target, and they had in the lawn, in the meadow, they had lights, so you can see in the night. They had floodlights for this target, and they shot from a kind of terrace over a valley. And so when you hit the target, the light went on. In the meadow, you saw if you hit it, and so on. Nice. They asked me if I like to try it. I said, "Oh no, thank you, thank you." It's really crazy. Weak bows for our understanding, but they drop a joop, and they shot over 145 meters.
Yeah, I always say that these Korean bows are way more efficient than a long bow. And, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Nice. And how was do you recap your speech? What was the content of your speech?
The speech was about connecting. About because, you know, in Germany and also in the United States and Austria, it's like that. The so-called traditional archers talk bad about compound shooters, and the compound shooters talk bad about the crossbow shooters, and so on and so. And the firearm shooters talk bad about the archery guys, and the opposite. And so I said, shooting is more and more banned, and every guy or every person who likes to shoot is crazy, because shooting is bad, it's violent, and you know. And so I said, all shooters should connect, and not separate themselves in little groups, and so this is not the shoot and this is not an archer. And so and yeah, that was the
nice,
the point of the speech.
It was more the whole spirit.
Yeah, it was. Most speeches were about archery, special things about, you know, from this country, that country. My speech was more kind of political. Political in the sense of connecting. Every shooter should stay together, and I don't know if there's the same saying in English, and draw on one rope, not.
No, of course, you pull on one side of the carriage.
Yeah.
But I think that the spirit there was kind of like everybody's connected as a big family. What you say. So
yeah.
Some have it, or at least the ones they take it as serious, or they get invited there. They are serious enough to accept others other archers,
Yeah.
other bows, other traditions, other styles.
Yeah.
And they simply are interested in, oh, how do you do it? Oh, that's interesting. Look, this is how we do it. And this is all what matters.
Yeah. Yeah. And it on, yeah, it's simply true. And also, you know, the firearm shooters have trouble with getting juniors to shoot, especially in Germany and Austria, because it's, you know, very difficult. And they also do this. The Western shooters, you know, who like to shoot with a lever rifle and six and, you know, Colt single actions and so on. Uh, the Glock shooters don't like them, and opposite. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Really nice, a nice week, and a big an adventure, and yeah, just wonderful, just wonderful.
Nice. Yeah. And then you come home back after this feeling of we are all united, and then you go into your local archery club.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you wake up.
Even when you are back on the airport in Vienna,
yeah,
like, you know, okay, now I'm at home. Because everyone is unfriendly and looks bad and so on.
Yeah. But you were 20 years or something, the head of an archery club, right?
Pardon? Yes.
You were 20 years head of an archery club, or the first archery club in your area region.
Yeah. So I know everything about clubs.
So you were the first one doing it. There in your what's your region name?
It's Burgenland.
Burgenland. No, there's no translation. It's a castle. No, Burgenland. Burgenland is Burgenland. Okay.
Yes. It means land of the castles, if you like. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had this idea. Why did you have this idea to go in or to make a club?
Because there were some around in my village and around, and they had bows, and we like to make a shooting range and so on, and so we founded this club, and it was wonderful. We, from the very beginning, we had also a kind of 3D course, but they weren't 3Ds back then. We made the targets out of cardboard and paper targets, you know, and we cut it out and so on.
The shape of an animal. Yeah.
Yes. Then after 2 years, we got maybe one whitetail, Mackenzie, you know, and so and so on. And we also made one of the, not first, but in the eastern part of Austria, we had the first 3D tournament. And we have here a wonderful area also with a castle and a little lake. And we also made a special section of this 3D. So there were 28 3D targets, but we added 8, if I remember well, 8 cardboard targets with animals on, and they were to shoot with broadheads. So it was a special broadhead round. And you could report in for this round, so you had to pay a little extra cost, but not too much. And there were separate prices for this broadhead round, so you could win this and the usual 3D tournament you could get placed, and also in this broadhead round. Very interesting, very nice. And one of I think in Germany and Austria there were not much tournaments around you could shoot with broadheads.
That's true. Nobody allows to shoot broadheads because it destroys the 3D targets, obviously.
And you know, we had a nice trophy for the winners of this broadhead round. This was, you know, the antlers you find in the woods from red deer.
Yeah.
And we made a little brass shield on, broadhead round, and so on. It was very nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And yes, and we always, as long as I had the command, we always tried to make it better. Then when we said, okay, we make one area only with African animals, and we drove the participants there with an old Land Rover, like you would go on safari, and there we had a safari bar. And for when you were at that bar, at that station, at that how you call it, when you made the break there were spears throwing. There was a ring you could throw spears through. So we always had some ideas. We had a lot of moving targets, and the very best moving target, and I'm very proud about that. We made from kind of dark ether form a crocodile, and we made it on a on a wooden post, on a and we put it into a small pond, and with a rubber rope, so you pulled this crocodile back and it swam like a real crocodile in the ponds. The most moving targets are not natural because they are on wheels or on the rope.
Exactly.
And this was in the right medium, a little influenced by Howard Hill's, tempo when he shot the crocodile with the bow and arrow. And so this crocodile swam with a big wave, This was very nice. And in the evening, there were lots of arrows in the pond, of course.
Obviously.
We had one boat shot with a really nice from the Austrian military, as a rubber boat. It's the black ones, the separate boats, massive ones with a wooden floor, and you could sit on this, out of this, and you shoot from the boat to the shore on ducks or I don't know. So
cool.
It was nice. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But we always talk in the past. What is going on now, or what changed?
I don't remember, but I think it was 8 years ago. I quitted with the club, and they still do it. But now they are, vegetarians, and I always wanted to set the records. I wanted to say, okay, we have that safari round with the Land Rover. We have this boat. We have this crocodile. We have this. We have this. And now they say, oh, let's just do it like the other do it. And I did the opposite. I said, no, we were the first ones who had colored invitations, paper invitations, but in color. Back then, you just get the copied black and white, paper, something, and we had very nice with, yeah. And also the participants, the archers, it changed, like in tennis or golf. Now and then everyone does it, and more they become kind of, I don't know if it's the right term in English, kind of alternative types, and Indians and medieval freaks. So they walk with a spear and the bow, and then they were at the parkour and say, oh, could you hold my spear? I have to shoot. Stupid.
Yeah, they want to keep it artistic, of course, because they want to live this feeling. How was it when I go hunting with all my deer and all my stuff?
Yeah.
Of course. But one should do maybe extra rounds for them, that everybody goes in his medieval outfit or his costume.
And one thing, which was a point when I left the club, was back then when we started, you knew every person who joined your tournament.
Yeah.
And we also had at these stations, lunch stations, and so we had alcohol, we had beer, we had brandy, we had wine, we had everything. But then it went big and bigger, and then I said, we have to stop giving alcohol to the people, because nobody, if you take a Glock pistol and give it to 100 or 150 persons, a Glock pistol, and the bow is as dangerous as a Glock pistol, of course, you wouldn't give them alcohol to drink.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Yes. But they disagreed, and
Yeah, it was with me always a very strict rule. If you drank, you don't shoot. I had many of these hen and steak parties, and then I said, listen, if you come in the afternoon, most probably already, then you don't come here. No, we do it as a first session, and afterwards we drink it, and it's fine.
Now, I have to commit, I was a bad guy too in this, but in these early days where, you know, okay, we take this guy's pose away because he gets drunk and he gets crazy. So we knew everyone. But when there are lots of people and, you know, you hadn't any control. Maybe they just bought their equipment yesterday and today they come to your tournament. They couldn't shoot. They had no idea.
You don't know them.
And you give them some beer and brandy, that's not okay anymore.
Yeah, but we even had the same. It was not even a club. It was simply a regularly meeting of 4x4 car drivers, so Jeep drivers and Suzuki and whatnot. And it was always every Saturday. It was nice. It was an old Kiesgrube, you know, where they had of small places with water and hills and whatever. You could drive all day long, and it was nice. And sometimes they organized with a big tent, and then a band played and party and stuff like this. And I always said, listen, now we stop driving, and when you start drinking, we collect all the keys, that nobody continues driving after they drink. And they always say, you're crazy, you know, I'm old enough. And what happened after I left, then they started, of course, hey, I can do this with my car and I can whatever. And he had this DKW Mungo from the army, and he drove up and whatever, and then he flipped sideways. And the car was open and he had his leg out, and the window frame squished, broke his leg. And then was, of course, nobody ever was driving there anymore because, you know, stupidity. That's why, for me, always, when you do these things, you can drink, of course, but afterwards, but don't touch your bow anymore.
I don't know. And, you know, back then, everything was more easy going. We had a signal to start the tournament. You know, you had the office where you got your record sheet and so on. And so we sent the groups of archers, about 4 to 6 in one group, out to target 1, target 2, and so on. So where they were at the target, and the tournament will begin 1 hour later or a half an hour later. And on our signal was a 357 Magnum revolver. We shot into the air, so not into the air, into the ground. So they heard the sound of the revolver, and then, you know, now the tournament starts. So we had very easygoing and funny stuff there.
Yeah, of course.
And in the evening, I always thought about programs, you know, blowgun shooting, knife throwing, and so there was always a kind of competition. Yes, for 3 beers, we shot with the blowgun, who pays the beer, and so it was fun, really funny.
Nice, okay. But things change and people change, and the good old times are simply not here anymore.
If you would do this with this revolver today, the police would come instantly.
Of course. Yeah. So you stopped 8 years ago or something?
Yeah.
And now you are not involved, or you don't go there anymore, or you completely broke up with them?
No, you know, you found that club and you made it big. They came from all around Austria, from Tyrol, even from Bayern, from you know, from everywhere, from Hungary and so on. And when you leave, then they talk bad about you. That's, of course, that's how
always,
it is.
This is always the one who leaves is the bad one. Of course.
Yeah.
So especially when you have a few of these egomaniacs, they work their way up to the top. We don't want to call names, but we know them. And of course, when they are then in charge, they only make sure that theirs is.
And I was not clever enough back then, because I had. If I would have been clever like today, I would have run it more politically, you know. When we had a club meeting, you know, I say, okay, I don't need that protocol, everything is okay. What about that and that, and just talking. But in the background, there formed some, we will occupy this and so on, and so,
of course.
When I said when I said it to my friends, they say, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, but that's why I never made a club. I had this idea too once in Germany when I was in Regensburg. I thought, yeah, let's do something. Because I had this vision, because in the Wudang Mountains, it's the birthplace, they say, of Tai Chi, and I do Tai Chi and whatever. So I thought, and then we heard that the Shaolin monks, they go always on tour. They have a lot of money. So the Shaolin monastery, they are really well funded, but the fundings in Wudang at this time was very low. So these monks, they didn't get a lot of money, but from there is the source of the martial art I practice. So I had this idea to make something. So, and then the first idea is, of course, you make a club. And then you read what happens in a club. You know that you found it, and you need whatever 7 members, and it's always you do it 4 years and as the head of it, and then they vote someone else in or whatever. You never know, and that's why we had directly this idea to make a foundation. It was in the Wudang Foundation, and so we had 2 founding fathers, me and my friend, and what we said is simply the law there. So there can nobody come and take over. So it's simply ours forever until we stop it or we die or whatever. So that's why it was for me the safer way. It's kind of like a club, NGO, of course, you get special from the government, but it's a little better because it's a safer way. And it sounded even better, Wudang Foundation. Ooh, sounded very important.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe you will do it in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, we see. Whatever will come.
So what's today's issue?
Issue? Well, it's a tissue.
Issue.
The tissue. Question.
Yeah. What's
today we wanted to talk about how to start when you're a complete bloody beginner and you see now a Robin Hood movie and you think, or whatever, Hawkeye or the Green Arrow or whatever, and you think, oh, that's interesting, I want to do that too. What suggestion can we give to someone who has no idea, who has no friends, no archery club, or he wants to start now?
Yeah, I would say you should look around for a custom bow maker. And he measures your hands and your ears and everything, and your draw length, and then you can look for very nice veneer from exotic trees and so on, and they make you a beautiful bow. It will need about 2 years to get it to you, and then you need about, I think, 3 dozens of arrows.
Minimum.
Yes.
This is not the premium version.
Yeah, and the snakeskin crocodile or snakeskin quiver.
Yeah, of course, a minimum. And leaving 3D targets, because otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Yes, and you make your own little 3D course. And most important, a very expensive teacher, trainer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm always available for these things. But as long as your father is not Bill Gates, what would you tell the others to do?
What would you say? What would you recommend?
I would say like we do it here. I mean, we get a lot, or sometimes people, they come to the range and they say, listen, I want to buy a bow because I watched a movie or whatever. I was in a medieval festival and I could shoot some arrows. I want to start now. And my first question is always, can you shoot? Then he says, no. And then look, before you buy something, shoot first. Some arrows that you learn, that you know that you really like it and you want to stick with it. Because even if you buy a snake bow for 100 euros and a few arrows and a target, you pay 150 euros and then you shoot 2 times and then you put it somewhere away because you don't like it anymore, or maybe because you're not good or whatever. You throw money out of the window. So first, shoot a few times and you see if it really gets to you, if you have this vibe for it, and in the meantime you learn how to shoot. So even when you stop, then after a few sessions, you know at least the basics of how to shoot and how to string a bow and whatever maintenance and stuff like this. And as in case in multi archery, you have the chance to shoot a few different entry-level bows. So then it simply depends on your budget. If you have 100 euros, 200 euros, or whatever the case may be, then you can shoot different bows, and then you see what you like more.
Yeah.
Because ordering a bow from online, from Amazon or from whatever and shop doesn't help, because when you don't know the bow, it can be that you don't like the bow. You know, you have the bow in here, but then the handle is like, and you feel like, I can't hold this bow or whatever. It's always a little tricky. So I would say start like this. If you don't have the chance, see if you find someone on YouTube who can tell you a bit about stuff.
Oh yeah, a handsome guy. And don't join a club, because then you get
I would,
a lot
yes,
of
I would,
input, and that's a bow, and that's not a bow, and that's
they get you into a recurve takedown, and then you need to have stabilizers and sights and stuff, and then all of a sudden you shoot FITA tournaments, and you didn't want this from the beginning. If it's yours, if you like it, nothing against it. But first, or especially when you want to go traditional, either find a traditional archery club. There are not so many around. And even there, it's always, as you had the same problem, it's always about the politics. And then one club is only whatever supporting one bow builder, and you need to buy a bow from him because they get some whatever. And I obviously listen, look, with this plastic snake bow we use as examples, I use them here since 8 years, and they work perfectly, they are cheap.
We had this with the self bow makers, you know, these carver boys. They oh, that's not the bow with glass, that's not the bow, a real man makes his own bow. And so okay, and a real bike driver makes his own bike, or how you mean, crazy stuff. I want to mention one thing. Back then, I don't know if it's still true today, but if you don't like to have a very non-expensive snake bow or so, always a good source for used bows was eBay, the American, the US eBay. You could get old Fred Bear bows or old, you know, everything, Ben Pearson bows, as long as you stay with a good brand. You know, Pearson, Bear, Damon Howard, or you know, there are lots of them. So you can buy these bows used, and for half of the price. I get a lot of bows for about $100 or $50 even, and it's a good idea.
And always, as usual, don't think because you're macho and you have big muscles, take directly a too heavy bow, draw weight bow. No. So go with something lightweight, 25, 30 pounds maximum. When you really start, no matter how strong you think you are. So the all macho and all ego thing on the side. Start with a low poundage bow, then you get your technique done, and you gradually go up with the poundage. Makes more sense.
And you don't need a lot more than 6 arrows to start.
6 arrows are fine. You shoot over 3 arrows like we do here. Once, and once you lose one or you break one, but then you still have one more, or you have 6. So if you have the money, get 12. Get a set of 12, then you're covered for a long time.
Finger tap, you easily can cut out your own from a sheet of leather. A quiver is not a big thing. A bracer is also not a big thing.
There are many online tutorials how to make this stuff. So if you're on a tight budget, you can always make it. And it's even fun to make it, I guess, when you sit at home and you did this, you know, buying, everybody can buy a 3-finger glove, but making something different.
A glove is difficult to make, but a tap is very simple.
Of course.
One thing I like to also say is, do not start with 3D archery. I think it's one of the worst things when you start, because you don't know why you hit and why you don't hit. You need a kind of, always call it like a clinical environment, you know, plane level, same light for every shot, and so on.
You should always start short distance. In my opinion, start 3 meters or 5 meters maximum. Should use a hay bale or something. There's so many cheap targets you can make, or fill one of these burlap sacks with a few old t-shirts, hang it in front of a hay bale, throw a small circle on it, and that's your target, and everything is good to go and costs nothing.
or from you know, from this how it is called in English, this building markets, you know, that like OB or
Yeah,
so.
hardware
You,
stores.
yeah, you can get home worker market. You can get plastic sheets, you know, from the pellets and so on. You
Yeah,
can stuff it in a bag, and it's a
exactly. Perfect.
nice stop.
You can pull out the arrows very easily, stops,
Yeah,
low
yeah,
poundage arrows, easy.
yeah, yeah,
It's lightweight to carry. Even when you bring it
yeah,
somewhere,
yeah,
you put it on your shoulder, you don't
yeah,
feel
yeah,
it. And you don't have to spend a lot of money on a target. You spend a little bit on a good bow and a set of
yeah,
arrows of 6 or 12, and then all the equipment, whatever you need, you can make, or it's not so expensive.
yeah.
If you need it, or if you want a quiver, you get one. You know, they
You
always tell me I look more smart when I wear a quiver. That's why I shoot
yes,
sometimes now with a quiver, because I want to look smart.
a nice quiver really makes you smart.
Okay, so, so look
Uh,
who's talking. Yeah.
you may disagree, but I highly would recommend do not shoot without a knocking point
Yeah,
when you're a beginner. At least
yeah, of
I
course.
don't see any reason to not use a knocking point, because there are so many variables and
Exactly.
so many
Mhm.
trouble making movements in archery. So you don't need to
Yeah,
add
yeah, yeah, of
this
course.
one.
No, no, you should always, but you need to know how to set a knocking point. But
Yeah,
there are instructions on internet. Of course, always when you shoot a bow with a shelf or an arrow rest, always make a knocking point. The only issue is when you shoot some kind of horsebow
yeah,
and you didn't find your final hand position yet. Sometimes you hold the bow a little higher and you shoot, sometimes you hold a
yeah.
little lower.
You
So,
shouldn't
and when
do
you
it.
change the hand position half an inch, but the knocking point is on it, then the arrow position will always be, or sometimes not be correct. So that's why if you start with a horsebow, shoot first without a knocking point, and then you see where you have the major scratches on the bow. And this is then where you hold your bow most likely, and then make sure you always hold it there, and then you can make your knocking point. Because then you have
Yeah,
again the same like with an arrow shelf.
yeah,
It's always the
yeah,
same,
yeah,
so you
yeah,
can
yeah,
align
yeah,
it
yeah.
properly. So this takes a little away of it.
I also would recommend what you say, if you use that kind of Eastern bow, you know, with this handle without any shelf, even with an English longbow, put on some kind of leather or something, so your hand position is every
Exactly.
shot is the same, because
Yeah.
that starts to making trouble. And
Yeah.
important, uh, don't buy the cheapest arrows.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend to start with carbon arrows, but
Mm-hmm.
with don't buy any arrow below 10 euros, I would say, because there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of very cheap Chinese stuff, and you
Yeah.
know, I have seen them, or even this, you know, this pentalon
Mm-hmm.
stuff from
Oh,
China
yeah.
with the, you know,
I still have a little carbon in it from one of them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
you
No,
have to use,
it's
and
quite simple. I mean, it's always the arrow. When you have a bad crooked arrow and you can shoot from the most expensive bow you have, you
yeah,
will miss the target. When you have a good arrow, you can shoot with a crappy bow and you will hit
yeah,
the target.
yeah.
It's as simple. Always invest in good arrows.
And one other tip is, um, use natural feathers, because
Always. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
For me
except
at
when
least,
you
because
shoot,
we shoot from the hand and with veins or from the shelf and with these plastic veins, they will always
except
deflect the
maybe
arrow.
with a compound bow or some high
Yes,
sophisticated recurve bow
of
with arrow
course.
rests, so you can use feins, but use
Mm.
feathers. And
Last time I got them because somebody said, look, you need to check these thread veins from this American company, and I got them, and they're really not so bad. They are way softer than these normal plastic veins, but
yeah,
they still have way more resistance when you go
yeah,
over it. So you still feel it. So that's why I would always go with real feathers. Mm.
and I don't see the advantage of the plastic feins, because you know, when it's heavy raining, when there's heavy rain outside,
Mm.
you shouldn't do archery.
Mm.
If you have to, because you depend on it.
Yeah.
But even then, with at
Mm.
the 3D tournaments or when bow hunting, you
Mm.
can also shoot the natural feathers in the rain. There are ways to
Yeah.
protect them from the rain.
Exactly. Yeah.
there was a special powder you or some spray and so on, and you easily can.
This tuft which you put in your hair, yeah, 3-Wetter-Tuft.
3-Wetter, yeah. And you easily can make them fresh again if you hold them over steam. You know, when you come back and they are dry and stick together, you put it over your tea kettle, tea kettle, and the steam will refresh the feathers and they will get back.
Yeah.
They will bloom like a flower.
So don't invest too much, even if you think you like it now, because it makes no sense to buy as a first bow €1,000 bow.
Yeah.
Because most likely after half a year or a year, you will get a new one or another one.
And maybe for the beginners, avoid any unnecessary movement. So it starts when you take the arrow out from the quiver, as we talked before. Just take the arrow at the knock.
Depends a little on your quiver. Yes, when you have your back quiver,
yes, or even with a side quiver, you pull it out like that. You don't have you avoid one grasp in between. You know, if you're shooting like Lars Andersen, it's different. But
it depends on your techniques, yes. But in general, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're shooting, don't change the grip on your bow. If you have the bow, don't take the bow aside and take it back and so on. If you're in if you have your hand position, and don't look away from the target. You have to learn to knock the arrow without looking at the arrow.
Yeah.
And because I have this one here, especially when you're beginner, choose very bright feathers. Yellow, white, pink, orange, yellow, everything, but not black and not deep red and not black knocks. It's very horrible. It's an example for this.
First of all, you don't see them in the flight, which is crucial for this kind of how we shoot, that you watch the arrows flight, and these dark arrows, as good as they look like
you don't shoot with a pistol. Yeah,
exactly. And second, when you miss your target and you need to find the arrow, it's always easier when you have bright yellow fletchings or something. You find them easier when they run in the grass or in a bush or something.
Yeah, and you know the best trick is you don't look for them. I never I never miss.
me losing an arrow.
It's not mine. And you know what I find so funny? Also in Facebook, you often see it. They put on big hooks for searching for the arrows, you know. So I always say, if you have something like that on your belt, you're screaming, I miss.
You program yourself, of course. This is
everyone know. Oh, he misses a lot because he needs this fork to.
Yeah, of course. It's normal. Yeah, that's why I always say when I explain something, then they tell me, yes, okay, I will try. I said, no, you don't try. You do or you do not. There is no try, because when you say I try, you give failure already an option. When I say I do it, then you have way more mental strength to do it. Of course, you can still fail,
if you say,
but you don't go in the race thinking already about failing. And this is this mental thing which you need to overcome.
I can't miss. That has to be your thought. I can't miss.
I hit the target. I simply, where I look, I hit. What Byron Ferguson said. What I can see, I can hit.
If I didn't hit, I didn't shoot.
No, I didn't see it in this moment.
One other thing, what is horrible in my opinion, they're a lot. Okay, if they're medieval guys or so, they like to make these bindings here on the, you know, on the feathers. Okay, if you like to do it, do it. But if you do it only to be protected from the quills of the feathers, it's wrong. You just have to cut them with a sharp knife and put one drop of glue here. You can shoot over your hand and it never will hurt you.
Of course.
And of course, you don't need them in the back. That's
no, of course not. But it's nice. It looks nice when you have it. I mean, we protect because it's easier I mean, when you have one set of arrows, it's nice when you cut them all nice with a sharp knife and you make a drop of glue on it. But for us, when you have mass production, we simply put electrical tape around on the front, half on a feather, half on
that's horrible. That's horrible.
No, but it works.
On my Kudo arrows, I have it.
See, the Japanese ones again. Huh?
Yeah, they're very long. But really nice with horn tips and
of course
horn knocks. No, wooden knocks. No, horn knocks.
Yeah, usually horn knocks.
Yeah.
Or ivory or yeah, but you can't use it anymore.
What may be a handy, a practical thing when you're shooting outdoors is that old English tassel. You know that tassel they used to clean the arrows.
No.
You don't know it?
No.
The term is tassel. Tassel. It's like in German a big Quaste made of wool or something, and so you shot an arrow into the dirt. They clean
to clean your arrows. Okay. Okay. Fine. A tassel.
Yeah.
A lot of hassle. No, you save the hassle with the tassel. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And also they see you scream, I miss a lot if you wear the tassel.
No, you should only keep your stuff clean. That's a different thing.
And what I'm also seeing a lot is back then when we started archery, we had a back quiver, a knife, a bow, a bracer, a glove, a quiver, some arrows, nothing more. Today, you can see them with big backpacks, with an umbrella, with a kind of folding seat and a big bottle of, I don't know, and a kind of antler to look for the arrow. So they had I always say like a high alpine in out gear. So you don't need it.
Yeah, but I think these people, I saw them last time when I was in Breitenstein in Austria. I went with Thomas, with my friend. We went around with our horse bows and shot a thumb release. And then you saw always the couples coming dressed in green and with a belt and all these pouches on the belt and the quiver, and just that they didn't have the black D's like the Navy SEALs in the face. But I think this is then kind of a fashion statement, or I'm an archer, I want to be equipped as good as possible.
The biggest knife you can get, of course.
Yeah, it's simply they like to have it, and I think the industry is making a lot of money with these people. I mean, I went the last time when I was in Austria, I went to Wels to the bow fair.
Yeah,
and holy cow, these people there! I was like, ooh, I went through it quickly and then I disappeared again. So no way. It's special people. So interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. And they ran out with a strong bow. They bought a bow which is still strong and arrows, and then they ran out. Said, listen, you should unstring your bow when you leave. And then they looked at me like, what are you talking? Then run around with a strong bow in the city.
And the horrible thing is they are also the shop owners and the salesmen. They don't. Lots of them have no idea about archery. They just sell that shit and don't know anything. I want to mention one more thing about Howard Hill style quivers, because they're very big. You could carry something in a Hill style quiver easily. You can put in a bottle or what you like, or rain gear or something to put inside.
It's always the size of a half backpack.
A quiver, a big quiver is not a bad thing.
What I would suggest, if you have the chance and if you're alone, get a cheap tripod or something, or find a place where you can put your mobile phone and film yourself while you shoot, and then check afterwards what you did, because then you see,
because you won't believe
you felt, if it's the right thing, or did you feel what you see then afterwards, or is still your shoulder up or something like this. When you have no teacher around, of course, the best is always you find a good teacher, go there, get your instructions, he will check that your alignment, everything is right. But if you don't have it, take a video of yourself. I mean, of course, I can invite people, they can become my patrons, and then they can send me the video and I check it for them, of course. But you can check it for yourself, compare it with what you see on YouTube when you find a good instructor on YouTube who tells you whatever, what is important, and then simply check your video of yourself. Is it the same? And what I would suggest, practice as, if possible, daily. Better every
but not
day.
too much. Not too much.
Not every day, 15 minutes, 30 minutes is better than once in a week, 3 hours. To build up this repetition, because then you get way easier in it, and then it's way easier for you to get somewhere.
And there's also a good thing Byron Ferguson mentions in his book Become the Arrow. You can train archery without the bow and without everything.
Exactly.
If you focus on the on the traffic sign in an O, or you see something and you focus on this, so you train your eyes to focus on a small spot. That's you can do without anything.
You can do it all the time.
Also,
and it's interesting. It's interesting when you have a few students and you tell them, listen, we do simple enough focus training. You look at one point for 10 seconds. Most of them are not capable of, because they have this, in China they say the monkey mind, it's always jumping around, and how the mind is jumping, the eyes are running around. So they are looking here, looking there, looking whatever. They're always this. And then get them focused is, well.
In part, I disagree, because you don't need to focus or to concentrate for a long time, because you can change your focus, and that's
but in the beginning that you get used to it, that you know where you look at, that you keep your eyes on it. And I always say, when you knock the arrow, look at your target. Don't look anywhere else. So why not? And from knocking to shooting depends on what you shoot and how you shoot. Let's say a few seconds. So when you manage 10 seconds, at least and this is even to calm down your monkey mind a bit.
And when you're at the shooting line, it don't depends where you are, or your shooting spot, and you want to shoot. Don't look away from the target, from the spot. Don't look at your quiver. Don't look at your arrow. Don't just focus on the target, and never look in another direction. And when you have shot your 3 arrows, okay, look around how you like it, but don't look away when you're at the shooting line. That's one of the most important things, in my opinion.
Yes, of course. Yeah, some even when they stand in full draw, then, what did you say? That can stop. When the arrow is on, you only look at the target, so don't look anywhere else. And if you want to poke, put the arrow off. And this is one major thing, of course, is safety. That no matter where you shoot and what you do, always keep it safe. Find an open place where are no people, that make sure that no people can cross even further back. You have no idea how long an arrow can fly. So even with a snake arrow, I managed when we did flight archery last time in what's the name on Bodensee? I forgot now.
I don't know.
Not Rotenburg. I
don't know.
And they all did flight archery. I only had a snake, 26 pounds, but I even managed 120 meters or 130 meters. And so don't underestimate. Find a big space, or have something enclosed where you can shoot with a backdrop out of hay bales or whatever, or a sand pile, something that the arrow doesn't go astray.
And never underestimate and bouncing off arrow.
Oh, did they go far?
From the back of the 3D animals, they go in any direction you wouldn't believe it. And also at the target, at the Olympic target, if you hit it like that, they go
off like a rocket. Yeah. We have this sometimes. We have these hay bales, and then we have a plastic rain cover on it. And when you hit this, the arrow goes really to the end. There's no tomorrow. So never underestimate this. So always play safe, shoot safe, and always check if there is someone. Make sure that you have no distractions and whatever, but simply keep safe. This is my news, common sense. If you have
on missing a target and looking for the arrow, Saxton Pope had a really nice lesson. He said, if you miss and you can't find the arrow, go back to the place where you shot from and shot the second one and see where it is going. But most likely you will find the first one where the second one went to.
True. Yeah, it's like this. When they miss the target, they miss consistently, and sometimes they shoot nice groups somewhere in the ground.
Yeah,
and you see all three arrows in one place. You shoot very good. Yeah, but I missed the target. Said no, but you already shoot the group. You simply did not place the group on the target. But for me, it's always more important that you shoot the group. So don't be so center focused that you have one center shot and you miss 2 times your target. It's not a good shot. It's a lucky shot. Way better is when you shoot 3 arrows and these arrows are always in a group. They don't have to be in the beginning in the center. They can be a little off, no worries. As long as you continue shooting groups, this group will come automatically to the center and everything is fine. When you only focus on, I need to hit the center and one goes in the center and the other 2 miss, it's not a good shot.
And maybe one more thing about shooting style. You have to decide from the very beginning what you want to do, in my opinion. If you like to shoot the Eastern way, like you do, okay, then strictly train this and don't mix up styles. That's what I want to say. Because I'm a proponent for a short draw, so I put my head forward and draw very short. Okay, do this, but don't change this a lot, because everything is good as long you do it the same way.
Stick to one style in the beginning, at least for a year or something, that you get your muscle memory set, that you get everything properly set.
Then you can change.
And then if you want to change something, try some different styles and techniques. If they are for you, go for them. But otherwise you mix, this is what I see sometimes. People come here, then they start 3 fingers and, you do thumb release, and now I do the thumb release course, and then I go back 3 fingers and thumb release, and then you confuse your body. So you need to settle first one style and then go for the next one.
Yeah. And because I'm wearing a cap today, never wear a cap, never wear a hat. Because, the string will get...
always in the way. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and so you will change your position because it's in your way, and you will get to the bad style.
I had this when I was in Sylt at Yuksaka. They had these Yuksaka caps. And I was at Listen Peter, it was a Peter too, Peter Berhorst. You need to invent caps that have small triangle cutouts there, too, for the left and for the right-hand archer. Then it's a specific archery caps, because then you can draw and the string goes inside the shield in this small cutout, and then you can shoot. You never did.
Back then, a cap has also its advantages, of course. Because you can protect you from sunlight, from a special direction. So when I did a lot of 3D archery, I always wore an US Army cap with a very short brim, such a soft camo cap. So I could turn it like I liked it, and it was in my way with the string and so on. But these kind of baseball caps are not good for archery.
No, they don't work. No.
And also big heads. When I see these guys with the leather heads, I don't know how they shoot. Aaron Ferguson does it because I always wore a hat in the past, but when I feel the string touching the brim, I'm out of my shooting.
Of course, you lose everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a distraction when it's done.
Yeah.
At least avoid it. I mean, if you have to wear one, put the thingy behind when you shoot, and then you can put it forward again, and everything is fine.
Yeah.
If you have to.
And like Howard Hill said, and also Nate Steen, when I was bow hunting with him in Idaho, he always said, I always like to look like a gentleman, even in the woods.
Yeah, makes sense.
So don't be, full camo or in any direction. Stay a gentleman.
It's not necessary. Look at the biggest bow hunters like Fred Bear. He said, I can go with the red jacket and can go hunting. So it's not the outfit.
Yeah. And a big plaid shirt cuts your silhouette like camouflage.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah. But this is again, there are many salesperson out there simply sell. I was very bad in it when I had Archery because I don't use a glove, I don't use a bracer, I don't use all of this, I don't use a quiver. That's why I didn't sell.
Communist. You're communist.
No, I'm me. I'm individualist. And
that's communist too.
No, it's simply effective.
No.
It's simply effective.
Right.
This is, right. For me, it's simply a matter of, I like to have a callus there, a thick skin, because you never know when a situation is, and now we talk about martial arts again, and I need to use my bow and arrow, but I don't have my glove on or my thumb ring on. I want to be still capable of shoot a few arrows. So when I only can shoot, we're fully geared up, and it might take too long, and that's my opinion. That's why, of course, when you shoot a lot of heavy bows, then later on you need your 3-finger tap, or you need a ring or a thumb protector. I shot now recently a few 50, 60, almost 70-pound bows, and then you feel it. So they are almost not shootable with my bare thumb anymore. And what happens is when you shoot a lot without protection, this callus here gets very hard and brittle. And once I did a comparison video, and then in one shot the string cut out this whole hard part, and I was bleeding like crazy. And then I wanted to finish the video, so I had to cheat and draw only with the tip of the thumb, and it was horrible. So that's why, take care of yourself.
I'm always using a very stiff glove, as we talked before, but I have no callus, but of course I can shoot 12 arrows without it.
So, that's good.
Yeah. You don't
just in case, you never know.
Yeah.
Always be prepared.
Of course.
Yeah, and then practice, and practice it with an open mind and with a positive attitude. This is important. And then always watch the arrow flight. What you can do is visualizing. When you look at the target, see already the arrow flying there, and then you shoot the arrow and you watch your arrow flying, and your brain or whatever subconsciousness will do what is necessary to calculate. You don't need to overthink everything. And don't try to control it with your ego mind. It's not working.
And like you said in the past, don't get dependent, I don't know, on gun barreling, looking over the arrow. Don't aim with the point of the arrow. Don't just look at the target.
Exactly.
And everyone will see after you practice it, you get into it. You can, and then only then you also can shoot in the dark or something like that. Because if you have to see the arrow point and it's dark, you can't aim.
And you're easier capable of shooting different distances when you don't aim, because otherwise you need to know the distance, and you need to know how low or how much higher you have to aim. Always a hassle. Instinctive, you simply see it, you point there, you draw and shoot, because you know what your bow is doing, what your bow with your arrow is doing, and you simply know how to handle it. That's why the bow becomes an extension of you.
Yes, and it's difficult in the beginning, but don't think too much. Because is this shoulder right? Is that elbow right? Is that right? Is that? It's like if you learn riding a horse, there are so many things you can do wrong. Concentrate on one thing. Okay, is my bow arm right? Okay, and then you look after this elbow also. Don't think about everything together. You will get crazy if you do it.
Not possible. Simply shoot a few rounds, only focusing on your bow hand, then you focus on your elbow, then on your shoulder. At the end, the body will combine everything together, but you need to train first every individual part, and even the release is really a matter of, you can practice this long and long, but settle and don't stay calm. It comes together at the end.
And to get some self-confidence and some security, I also put into the lessons some, as we talked in the past, some shooting tricks. So you knee down, you turn around and shoot, or something like that. or you shoot left-handed or so on, because you get more confident, you get more used to the bow, you see what you
Of
can
course.
do and what you can't
Yeah.
do, and
Mhm.
don't be just, if you think you aren't able to shoot well this day, okay, so try it left-handed and you will see you can
Exactly.
do it right.
Exactly. Or do walking and shooting, that you walk slowly towards a target and shoot your 3 arrows, or walk sideways to the target, like actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lay
Walk
on your
backwards.
belly, shoot. Lay on your
Exactly.
back,
Lay
shoot.
down, lay on your back. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many things you can do.
Or like I told you, put the kind of, I don't know how did that plastic bands are called you have on the building place, the red and white striped
The
plastic
red, white
bands.
tape, yeah.
Yes. Put one in this height, and you have to shot under it, through under it,
Exactly. Yeah.
go down in bend your knees a little and shoot
Yeah.
from that crouched position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important. So what you,
And never forget to have fun and enjoy it.
yeah, and you have to shoot at crazy things too. You have to put something onto the target, and
Yeah, of course, we always shoot some
apple,
apple or some insect.
or a
An old
balloon,
cola
or
bottle or something. It's
yeah,
always
yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Or
yeah, 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 yeah.
from your mom, one of the plates of the porcelain plates, and then you shoot it.
Yes,
It's so
yes,
much
yes.
fun when they burst into 1,000 pieces. Yeah, it's so nice. I
That's
had this once because we did once an event at the school, and I did it for free because for promotion and because the lady who asked me, we were friends. I said, okay, we go there in 3-4 hours and we do archery. And then as a thank you, we got a glass, how do you call it? One of these things you put on your table out of glass with the engraving of this
yeah,
event.
yeah.
And I had it in a while in the archery in our shop, and I was like, should we shoot it? Yes. We did a nice slow motion of it.
Yeah,
It's fun when you shoot and it bursts in 1,000 pieces. It's fun.
yep.
Mhm.
Once I made a kind of event, and you talk a while, and then you should do a shot. You talk to the group of people. They were not archers. It was a bus full of, I don't know, it was a kind of business stuff, and they had hot wine, with spoons and mugs.
Yeah.
And one of these guys, he didn't love me. He he took one of the coffee spoons and said, "Are you able to hit this?" And put it about 20 yards. And you don't can make any shot to try or so, but I hit it
Yeah.
with the first shot, and then they
Mm.
believed me everything.
Everything, of course. Yeah, this is
You
always the
see,
same. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something more I can shoot.
Mhm.
So if you
I had.
if you train and you make a very good first shot, they believe you.
Yeah, yeah. Now I had this when I had a camera team at the range because I did some, I don't know for what they did it. And then I explained that you don't always stand straight up or whatever. It can be that the enemy is in your back. And while I was talking to the camera, I was turning around, bam, and then you need to be able to shoot this fast. You load and you turn around and shoot again. And I had two center shots. The arrows were touching, and both is the camera guy and the other one. Oh, yeah, okay, it's everything fine. From that
I
moment on, I was the hero. Yeah.
Once I had a good thing. I was training. I was giving lessons every once a week in a school in Vienna, and in the, how you call it, in the
In
training
the Turnhalle. Yeah,
Turnhalle,
in the
yes,
sports building hall.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there was another group, and they had an older guy. I'm still friends with him since then, and they trained fishing rod casting. They had a big
Okay.
weight on, and they trained to put it in a ring and so on. And and one day they I don't know, this big
Let ball.
lead, yes, uh slung over, I don't know, something in this room, and it was up there, and as I will shoot it for you, so it will fall down and you have it. Yeah, yeah, of course, and I went over, you know, with a plant, with a rubber plant or
with
something.
the rubber tips. Yeah, I know.
I hit that lead, it fell down, and this Helmut. Oh yeah, that's great.
Okay, yeah. Lucky you don't have to do a second shot.
I thought I will need some shots to get it, but you know, sometimes luck happens.
Of course. Happens to me too. Sometimes somebody brings a bow and says, "Oh, you want to shoot with it?" And me directly 30 meters, bam, center shot. Said, "Here, good bow, good bow." I don't shoot the second arrow now. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then you have to stop. Then you have to stop shooting. So, okay, that's fine for me.
Of course, we always end up with a good round. That's why even when we train here with the special archers and we shoot 30 meters and stuff like this, the last round is always nice on 10 meters or something, that they shoot again a nice group. And then you stop with a nice group, you stop with this good feeling. You know that you did some long distance shots, but at the end you always end up with a nice group. And then you go with this good feeling. When you end up with one missed and one there and one there, you go with this bad feeling.
You have to walk away and to know I'm still the greatest.
Exactly, I did really good, and then you want to learn. And even you're way more willing to learn and invest time in practice and stuff when you feel good.
And you know, I don't know if I told it in the past, but I think so. You know, it's not a bad idea to put on a special outfit when you do archery.
Yeah.
If you have maybe a vest, or you know, my Bowman jacket or something like that, or something, or even I know you're spiritual, even if you put on a kind of amulet or something, it doesn't matter. But when you have this outfit on you, you are the archer.
Yeah.
And then you switch your mind. You can't miss.
Yeah.
When I have my Bowman jacket, I know I am the Bowman. I can't miss. And that's a kind of trick, a self how you call it in psychology,
self-fulfilling prophecy,
self-suggestion or something.
Exactly. Yeah. It's right. It's true.
Or a kind of mascot. If you put a kind of mascot in your I got one. You see, we talked about Korea today, and since I got it, one of these samurai friends gave it to me. It's a piece of a yumi. One side is grinded off, so you can see the bamboo layers inside, and here's the front, and it's a kind of mascot. It's very light, and I always wear it in my left pocket of my trousers. And if there's a situation, you remember it, because I'm not superstitious, absolutely not, but you have it.
Sometimes it helps a bit. I mean, it's the same when they say with when you go on tournaments, that you get when your mind goes crazy, simply do before some kind of meditation practice, that you see yourself walking on a green field and it's nice, and then tap your body somewhere. When you have this feeling of, oh, you know, really nice, beautiful, calm, and then tap yourself somewhere or touch yourself somewhere. And when you stand in the competition and you start going crazy, you simply touch yourself there, and instantly you bring up this mindset again of, oh, wait a second, how calm,
you know,
calm, and then you should.
It's like many famous actors, Hollywood actors in the past, like Marilyn Monroe. So they went to this, I think his name was Strasberg acting school, and he teach them stuff like that. If you want to get into that role, you do a special thing, and then you are into that personality or person or something like that. And yes, it's a kind of self-hypnosis, self-suggestion, and you shouldn't underestimate it. And it's not superstition; it's a trick.
I mean, it's like in everything, the mind is a very powerful weapon. And when you don't use your mind properly and only you rely on your physical body, you cut out 80% of the chance.
Every word, it's like NLP. I don't believe in NLP. I don't believe.
It works.
Yes, Every word you're thinking or you're
Yeah.
saying to another person is programming that person.
Yeah. Of course.
Once I was invited to Tyrol, they had a night shot. It was one of the first, you know, like this, how you call this, shooting cinema with the moving,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they did it by night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a kind of catwalk out. You had to catwalk out there, and
Mm-hmm.
I I had to compete with another guy, and he
Mm-hmm.
walked beside me, and I said,
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine you were able to hit something in that dark. He was
Mm-hmm.
done. He was
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
He
Mm-hmm.
never hit anything.
Yeah,
So you
of
can
course.
destroy other people with
It,
just one word.
and you can build them up.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
That
what I
case,
always do here when somebody shoots two good arrows, then I will say, but you know that the third arrow hates you. And then they would try so hard, and then the third goes mostly
yeah,
off. Some work better under pressure. When you
yeah,
force them,
yeah,
then they're way more focused and they shoot nice groups under
yeah.
pressure. We have a few boys here, they are, when you pressure them, they shoot way better. And others completely you destroy them. Then the third arrow goes somewhere, whatever. And they're like, you jinxed me again.
And it's the same in whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked before, you decide the situation, like a
Yeah.
samurai, like Musashi, like them. You decide. And if you say something into the room to another person,
Mm-hmm.
you manipulate this person. If he
Mm-hmm.
likes it or he likes it
Yeah.
not, it doesn't matter. You do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and psychologically spoken,
Mm-hmm.
everyone knows these guys and women, and so they're always the victims. Oh, my husband is so bad. Oh, that is, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sick, and I'm that, and I'm
Yeah.
that. And they program themselves to be
Of course.
victims. And
Yeah.
that's horrible. That's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And
And out of these victims, we get now all these snowflakes. Yeah,
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. It's hate
It's all.
speech. He hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If a word, if I
Yeah.
say you're an,
This is what I always say, that words don't hurt when you are strong enough. This is what I always say as an example. You can tell me now that I'm a beep, hole, asshole.
yeah,
Then, of course, I could get angry or simply say, yeah,
or
from your
cry.
point of
Oh, he
yeah.
said. Yeah.
But what I do is I say, yes, from your point of view, you might be right. I see it differently. I turn around and go.
You
And he
know,
like, oh, then because he's then the one who, you take the wind out of his sails.
again, think like a warrior. You have to have a kind of armor,
Mm-hmm.
and your protection and your armor is so words don't can hurt you.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah,
very simple.
I am confident enough that words don't hurt me. My armor is
Yeah,
my confidence.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
why I know who I am. And that's why even when they, whatever,
Today's
I'm fine.
society is lacking a kind of stoicism. They lack
Yeah, but
stoicism like in the past. It was, you know, some seven, or don't say 70 years, but say 100 years ago,
mm,
it was, it was, you couldn't say, oh, I feel that and I feel that. You have
mm,
to hide your feelings. And today you say, they say that different. Oh, it's so
mm,
empathetic and that and
mm,
that and that's not good. That's not good. So the
mm.
people get hurt.
Yeah, weak soldiers nowadays. Yeah, weak
Yeah.
people. That's what we
What
have to
is
deal
also,
with. But of course, when you look at mainstream media, it's of
uh,
course programmed by them. All this gender that you don't know what you are anymore, a boy or a girl. My, for Christ's sake, look in your underwear, then you know it. This
also
is,
also in the movies and in the movie
yeah,
serials, movie shows,
of course.
that it's just what I'm feeling, and oh, how
Yeah,
this is so
yeah,
crazy,
of
so
course.
crazy.
And of course, people, even if they don't think about it, because most people turn off any critical thinking when they start watching TV, and it simply goes in.
Yeah.
This is brainwash 24/7. And
You
of
know,
course, this is what you get then.
what I heard. I don't know if
Mm,
I told it before. Uh, because this whole genderism, identity
yeah,
politics and genderism, and so,
mm,
and in the core, it's not scientific
Mm-hmm.
because there are X chromosomes and Y chromosomes. And even
Mm-hmm.
if a baby gets born with something not right, you take their blood and you say, okay, this is a boy and this is a girl. And so this whole transgender stuff is not the same people who say trust the scientists
Mm-hmm.
are acting unscientific.
Mm-hmm.
Unscientific. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's what I heard for the first time. You know why they can do it? Because they say science was made by old white men. So it's not true. Mathematics was made by old white men. And so
Mm-hmm.
if one says 2 and 2 is 7,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that. You can't say, if you say, no, it's 4, it's racist because an old white
Mm-hmm.
man. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It's so crazy.
Wow. Yeah. And it gets worse, but we
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
We have to go to our hide spot back into the woods, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
To
Most
the
probably.
Amazons, you know.
No, we can invite them. They can come over for a
Yeah.
beer or for a tea in my case.
Yes. And like
I will make it.
like because yes, because they will go back. You know what Ernest Hemingway said?
Mm.
He said, we don't pay the hookers that they come, we pay them
That they
because
come.
they leave after.
Exactly. Of course. Yeah, otherwise you can marry, you know.
Yes,
So,
so
yes, but you pay way more.
you're in trouble. Yeah, yeah,
You,
yeah.
you pay way more when you add everything up what you pay in a marriage. You can have one of the best hookers every week, 2-3 times.
Of course, with
And you have
every
no
jacuzzi and everything.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Nice.
so I think we have we have it
Yeah,
very
we drift quite off. Yeah,
holistic, very
so beginners,
holistic
you know now what you have to do.
with
Go
hookers
out,
and
get a bow, and follow our instructions, our very serious instructions,
yeah, yeah,
and then you will succeed.
yeah. And if you're married, I don't know if you can buy a bow.
This is you might ask, but you know, or you build one, get a PVC pipe. This is how I started here, because I only in the time when I came to Malta, I only had the big snake bows, but not for kids. And I was like, but I need a few bows for the kids, and I saw this backyard bow here. We could even invite him maybe once for a talk,
Yeah,
because he really. And I saw how he built this 15-pound and
I saw it.
bow. And I was
Crazy.
like, Then I went to the hardware store, got some PVC pipes and a heat gun, and started. I had, I think, 30 bows, and all designs from the Hankyu to Turkish, and where you have no idea, Scythian with curves more than whatever, but it's simply trying and experimenting.
Great idea.
And they cost €5 then or whatever, you know, a piece of PVC pipe and a string.
And you can make a child happy with this bow, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course. But I made even adult versions with 35, 40 pounds. They are still in use. So it's not a problem. So if you are really on a tight budget, build yourself a PVC bow for the beginning and get some nice arrows.
No problem. Yeah, yeah.
But you know, on the other side.
I also, one last tip. In Japan, they have a device they call Gomu Yumi, the rubber bow, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not a bad idea. It's a kind of rubber hose with a handle, and you hold it like a bow and draw that rubber hose. So you can just train the body position and so on.
Yeah.
And one more thing, you can also shoot in your living room, in your kitchen, because you just need 3 meters. If you don't have a very heavy bow, light bow, shoot 3 arrows, put it away.
I mean, look at the Japanese, the Kyoto archers. They practice before 1 meter or 1.50 meters away from this hay bale. I forgot another name. Has a special name. I forgot another name. Look at me.
Makati or something.
Makati. Yeah, something like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makati, yeah, something. And they practice there. half an hour, and then they go shoot the 2 arrows on the range, then they go back and shoot again there. So, and even in China, it's called gaozen. This is that you shoot very short distance your arrows, but don't shoot them in one spot. Put few dots on your target and shoot these few dots, that you don't break your arrows, or only shoot 1 arrow at a time. It's fine too. And you can always shoot some arrows.
In the United States, they call it shooting for form.
Okay.
Just shooting for form, not for hitting anything. So just to train your form.
Yeah, of course, that's enough. And then you can practice even shooting blind, which is very interesting. That you shoot the first one with open eyes, and then the second one you simply close your eyes and feel your body. When you stand a meter away from the target, it doesn't matter. This is very interesting. Let them simply the same. Then you close your eyes and you repeat your form, and then you see what the arrow is doing. If it's in the same place or not. Very interesting.
Good advice. I have to say you have some good points also in your.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good ideas.
I really, from your mouth, it means a lot to me. Yes. I'm not sure if I can sleep tonight with all this.
Just kidding.
Okay, fuck. Ooh, I thought you were serious now. Holy crap.
By the way, you have seen on Facebook, I have out the second volume of.
Yes, I ordered it already, of course. Because usually I don't buy stuff anymore. People send it to me to review, but that's fine.
You will get one if we meet, no problem. But
I ordered it now. I don't need one more.
The second one is way tougher than the first one. You will like it.
Nice. Very good. But the third one is almost done too, right?
No.
How far are you with the third one?
I stopped working the last 2 weeks because I had to make this one ready for publishing, and now I had the ebook out and I had some other thing to do. But now I'm back in working on the third part. And the good message is the first part is close to finish the English translation.
Very good.
So maybe the end of May there will be the English edition, and the second part also will get translated. So we will see.
I think it's important, archery, especially for the Americans or English-speaking people.
Way bigger target group.
Of course.
Nice.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I
hope you like it.
No, I need to read again. I'm not a really book reader, that's
I know. So I'm very honored that you read mine.
Yeah, of course, that I really spend my time then reading a book.
You will see the second one, you will laugh. There are a lot of conflicts inside, also with feminism and something like that.
Nice.
Okay, so
good. So far so good, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
We're done. I think it's time. What's the time? 2040. Yeah. Nice.
Late enough.
1.5 hours or a bit more.
Maybe we have to say one thing more. If any of our commentators or viewers likes to get into our talk, they should write us. They should say, "Oh, I'd like to join you. I'm a bowyer, or I'm an arrow maker, or I'm a talker."
Or I simply want to explain that I started my journey watching YouTube videos and how my journey is going. It's even interesting to yes, of course. Everybody who wants to join, let us know. Tell us your story in a very short form. Then we go from there.
Yeah,
cool. Good idea. Yes,
would be nice. Yeah,
makes sense.
Okay. Oh, I hope they don't hate me because I have here the crossbow in the back.
I have no problem. I said if I would go hunting, I would go more likely hunting with a crossbow than with a bow. That's fine.
Yeah. That is a nice old Horton, not the compound, very simple with no goose leg and so on. Just it's fun.
Nice. Yeah. It's fine, don't worry.
Okay, so
I don't hate you because you have a crossbow.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. There are many other points for that, so don't worry about the crossbow.
and you see back there the poster of Howard Hill. Back then, where real men made advertising for cigarettes. It's a Chesterfield advertisement.
Okay. Yeah. And then they started lawsuits against the farmer, against the 6 tobacco companies.
Yeah.
And I stopped advertising it.
Yeah.
But still, they make advertisements about milk, you know, and about all the chemical medication stuff and aspirin and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah. Okay, so
good.
Nice talk.
Yes, it was a nice talk. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed it all, you viewers, and you stood with us for 1.5 hours and listened to our stuff. Sometimes serious, sometimes not so serious, but we're always kind. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. And thank
Pushing
you for
the bell button.
Of course, the bell button. And tune in next
else.
time. I mean, this is the only video I can upload now because I can't do anything else. So that's why next Tuesday, this video for sure online.
I'm honored that you did it with your phone, so we could.
Yeah, I had to. You need to improvise when you don't have, when your computer is locked away and everything is locked away. Even my microphones and everything is locked away because they said 3 days, and I thought, okay, 3 days I can compensate. You know, it's fine. But now it's most likely the whole month. Then it gets a little critical for me. But we see.
Okay.
Everything happens for a reason. We see what the reason may be.
Okay, so shoot straight.
Yes.
Stand tall.
Of course, and have fun.
Let it
enjoy
flow.
life. It's short enough. Enjoy the moment.
Let it flow.
Exactly. Stay in the flow.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you
ciao,
to the
ciao.
viewers. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.